What's going on, my dudes? Chensley11 here, and welcome back to another episode in the A to Z series. Today we are playing the little inventor Heimerdinger. So we're going to be showing you how to play Heimerdinger top, and this will be a Heimerdinger guide for beginners. So we are going to be going through his runes, his build, and most importantly, all of his abilities, so that when you try to play Heimerdinger yourself, you know exactly what all his abilities do and what to build. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button because we are going through every single champion in League of Legends, giving you a basic guide on each of them. We're up to like episode 39, I think this is. So we're getting through most of the champions. And Heimerdinger, this is a very interesting champion. You can play him mid, you can play him like in the bot lane as a substitute for an AD carry. Obviously, he does AP damage or magic damage. Or you can play him top, which is where we're playing him today. I think he does better in the solo lanes personally because I just find it more comfortable there. And I think he's very strong if you know how to play him, but he is very unique and he can draw a lot of pressure to the side lanes if you are good and understand how his turrets work and what you can do with them. His team fight can be absolutely nutty, but it does require a little bit of setup and sometimes a perfect opportunity. But we will get through all of that in this guide. And we are first, as we watch a little bit of a Clown Fiesta invade from the enemy team, going to go through his runes. So for this game, and the meta runes for the top lane are Arcane Comet. For obvious reasons, every time someone takes damage from one of your abilities, it sends the Comet, which does damage. That's really good for Heimerdinger. Mana Flow Band to give you some mana sustain and regen. Transcendence for some ability haste. Obviously very important on Heimerdinger as he's a spellcaster. Gathering Storm, so he gets more AP as the game goes on. And then we're going to go Domination Tree second. For Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. Then we're going to take 2 of the AP or like offensive adaptive force runes and then defensive for the armor. I would have flashed that up on the screen. As the Garen comes in late, which means he is going to miss out some XP, which is very, very good for us. We tag him with a turret and then an auto attack to make sure that he's in some pain. So we've gone through the runes. I want to quickly have a quick mention about the ability. The build and what you should be building when you're playing Heimerdinger. So for me, the best abilities or the best items to build, and these are the meta build, is to start off with Leandri's Anguish, and then you want to go obviously Sorcerer's Boots, and then the most important is Zhonya's Hourglass. Very, very good item on Heimerdinger. As we see, we are trading as hard as we can to Garen. You can see from the early laning phase how oppressive Heimerdinger can be with your turret setup. And we'll go through those in a moment. But you can just see how much pressure the Garen's under, and you can tell he's just very uncomfortable, because we are constantly applying pressure on him. Again, he is ranged, which is a little bit difficult for a melee champ to deal with, and it's a little bit cheap, I guess. But it is very, very effective, and also works well in mid lane. But obviously, remember, you need to dodge some of the other mages' spell casts. Very, very easy to play against a melee champion like Garen, which is why I like him top lane personally. All right, so we're first going to go through Heimerdinger's first ability or his passive, which is called Hextech Affinity. Okay, so very, very simple passive, one of the simplest in the games. When Heimerdinger is near one of his turrets, so these are the turrets on the floor, or a ally turret, so like the big turret where we're attacking right now, he gains movement speed. That's all it is, 20% movement speed when he's near his turrets. So very, very simple. How does this help? Basically, at all times, you want to be staying near your turrets because they are a major source of your damage, so you want to be near your turrets, obviously. So that bonus movement speed allows you to dodge and weave skill shots if the champion is throwing skill shots at you. And it's also good to get away if there's a gank coming, so you can throw one down and run. Also, the turret will be shooting, the enemy as they chase you down. So very, very simple passive. Not too much else to say about it. Just keep that in mind. It's one of those passives where you can kind of forget about it, but just remember that to have your turrets down at all times and you'll be covered essentially. Alright, so the Garen's going to try and put pressure on the turret. Just remember that melee champions deal bonus damage to your turrets. And we can see a nice little trade there. We get onto that Garen. Beautiful trade. We have more minions. We go on for a trade. Very, very simple trading pattern. We take a bit of a beating from that cannon, but that's okay. One thing I will mention is you want to start your Q first, level 1, and then you want to take you want to be maxing your W first. You want to take your E level 2. I just find that's the best way to do it, because if there's an really early trade level 2, you can stun them next to your tower. When we go through the abilities, this will make more sense and get a nice early trade off. Okay, so that's the passive. The next ability is obviously his Q, and it's the turrets. It's his bread and butter ability. It's called H28G Evolution Turret. all it is Heimerdinger places these turrets on the floor, okay? So these turrets deal damage to enemies around them, and they prioritize enemies that you've recently auto-attacked. So you can see there, when I auto-attack that minion, a shot went off, like a bonus shot went off, and that's the first auto-attack that does that. So we're going to work down these minions here as we get these turrets set up. All right, perfect. So, hey guys, we're here in the practice tool, and there's something I really want to point out with Heimerdinger's turrets that I didn't explain very well in the video. So the blue bar, as I was saying in the video, is his health, and on top of the blue bar is what I like to call it the turret's charge, right? So when the turret is auto-attacking and dealing damage, you can see it's slowly building up its charge. And once it hits that fully charged, that's when it will do that burst of damage. And what I mean by that is this, right? So if I hit other abilities, such as my W or my E, watch what my turrets do, right? They all get fully charged and they do that extra shot, that laser shot. Bang. See that? That goes through. Bang. So that is that's the when you stun someone under your tower and you can hit them with your W and your E, usually that'll give them enough, the turrets enough power to have that extra shot, do the extra damage. So keep that in mind. So we can see that the turrets are going down and they're prioritizing whatever we're auto-attacking. So the thing you want to be doing when you're playing Heimerdinger is you want to place your turret down and make sure you auto whoever you're trying to kill. So if there's a champion coming after you, place an auto, you can place a turret down, or if there's one already down, you auto-attack the target, and then your tower will start shooting the enemy. Another thing with the turrets is you can only have 3 down at once, and you can see around Heimerdinger right now, there's that gear that's floating around him. They are the available kits that you have available to put down. So you can't just spam turrets constantly. You have to let them recharge. They obviously cost 20 mana, so it's not a lot of mana, and you can use it for a quick trade to just place a turret down and let them do some damage. So you can only have 3 down at a time. If you try to place a 4th down, if you have a kit available, so right now we have 3 kits as they're swirling around the Heimerdinger. If we try to place a 4th one down, what will happen is the oldest turret will be replaced or killed. For the enemy champion, what they want to do is deal damage to the turret. You can see just below the turret, they have their own little HP bar. So what I did there was I placed 3 turrets around the Garen. That way, if I was able to get an auto-attack off, all 3 of those turrets would start auto-attacking. And then I just placed an ultimate turret just to do a little bit of chip damage onto the Garen to show him who's boss. Ultimately, a bit of a waste of my ultimate, but that's fine. So that's the turret, guys. Very, very simple. Heimerdinger's ultimate, which we'll go through in a moment, which is what you saw there, upgrades his ability. So we'll go through those after we've gone through all the abilities. Actually, no, we'll do them like this. Basically, we'll go through each and every ability, and we'll go through what the upgraded or ultimated ability does. So if you push your ultimate button, your R, you can upgrade your next ability cast, okay? So for the Q, or the turret, it will place an upgraded turret down. Now, this upgraded turret does not consume one of your 3 turrets down, because you can technically have 4 turrets down if one of them is the ultimated turret, or upgraded turret, as it's called. This one here is called the H28Q Apex turret. Basically, all it does is it does more damage, and it does AoE damage on auto attacks, okay? So it does a lot more damage in team fights. It's very, very good. It doesn't last as long. It's only 8 seconds, I believe. So you want to pick and choose when you use this, but it is very, very powerful if you get the nice upgraded turret down, and it has a very, very nice range and does a lot of damage. So the next ability we are going to go through is Heimerdinger's W, which is the ability I just used there. Perfect. It basically shoots out rockets. It's called Hextech Rockets. It shoots rockets out and does obviously nice damage. I just used the W there, and we could just nearly trying to get him down. He is running, and we did put the ignite on him, and I think we might be able to finish him with a nice flash W, and we ultimated that W, which I'll go through in a moment as well. So the thing with Heimerdinger is you kind of need to know which ultimate to use in which situation. I used my ultimate W there to get a little bit extra range, so I could finish off the Garen, get the kill, get some more pressure on this tower. And you can see already in this early game how much pressure we are putting on this tower and this Garen, which is good for our team, so we can get some early gold and try and move around the map and get ahead. Alright, so basically the Hextech Rockets. All it does is shoots a wave of 5 rockets. Depending on where you set your cursor, depends on where the rockets, how they fan out. If you place your cursor very close to you and push W, they'll like intersect very quickly and spread out the rockets. If you place them, if your cursor at the very end, they'll arc in to a certain spot. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to clear a wave and the wave's a bit spread out, you want to cast your W a bit closer to yourself. That way it fans out the rockets. If you're trying to hit a specific target, you want to basically put your cursor onto the champion or target and then press your W so the missiles intersect at that point. Because wherever your mouse is where all the missiles intersect, if that makes sense. So the further it out, the longer the intersect line is. The closer it is, they intersect really quickly and then start spreading out. So I hope that makes sense. And we did back and get our Lost Chapter, which is one of the best backs you can do when you're playing Heimerdinger. Just a nice aside. If you have 1,300 gold, you want to try and back and get that Lost Chapter. The mana regen that it gives you is super, super amazing. It'll allow you to continuously poke your enemy laner out of the game. You can see the CS difference here. We have nearly more than double his the Garen CS, which is very, very good. So remember that CS is worth a lot more than kills some of the time when it's a very close game. When it's a game where there's not a lot of kills going on, so CS is very important. And Heimerdinger, for the most part, is easier to CS with if you struggle because the towers or the little turrets will do them for you. All right, so we're going to get ganked here by the Malphite. He's going to ultimate us, which is super unfortunate. Didn't get a ward down. The Kane is on his way. I used my ultimate turret, which is going to do a lot of nice damage. And my tower is going to help the Kane take down the Malphite. And the Kane is going to try and get onto the Garen and finish off. But he burns his flash, which is very good. So I want to finish off explaining the W because I didn't quite get around to it. Okay, so each rocket deals the magic damage. That's very, very good. So you want to try and hit as many of these rockets as you can. The additional rockets do less damage. But again, the more rockets you hit, the more damage you do. And I think they go... Like the rockets... Every rocket hitting a champion gains 20% beam charge to all your turrets, and then they will shoot that beam off. Okay, so as that beam charges up, it'll go off when you hit your W and do more damage. You saw that in a trade. It's hard to explain without showing you a visual, but you can see when we stunned the Garen in an earlier trade, we hit him with our grenade, then our turrets all shot like an extra shot at him, and then we hit our W as well, which procced that shot. So... there's that, and that's basically all there is to know about the W. We go a nice W there, we place the turret down, we auto attack him, and we're just going to chase him down here. We're going to try and place as many turrets on the way as you can, which is something that's very weird to get used to, but then we finish it off with our W, the ability we're explaining now. So the upgraded W, which is called obviously Hextech Rocket Swarm, basically all it is it's your W, but it shoots multiple waves, and I used it earlier to finish off the Garen as he was trying to flee. Obviously, it does more damage and does more rockets. So, again, very, very strong ability if you're trying to nuke someone down or do a lot of damage into a team fight if they're all grouped up nicely. So, keep that in mind as well. So, again, very, very simple ability to use. Once you use it a few times, it'll start to make more sense and you understand it's very, very simple. And you want to try and practice those intersection arcs when you play Heimerdinger. Another thing with the tower I forgot to mention is the little turrets is place them down when you're trying to push a tower down because as you can see they will help you take out the tower. A little bit of a stupid W because we just take tower aggro for no reason and take 2 shots. But we do get the first tower for our team. Nice little gold bonus for us. We have finished our first item, so we're very, very strong at this point. I like to place my turrets in a little triangle like that. It's just so that I like the 2 at the back, 1 at the front. That way, it's just a nice... if we get ganked, we can kind of like run around in our tower defense system here, and then the towers will do a shitload of damage. Alright, so you can see our Arcane Comet getting procced every time the Garen steps forward as well. So the next ability we are going to explain is Heimerdinger's E, which is called the C2 Electron Storm Grenade. So Heimerdinger hurls a grenade at a target location, and it detonates upon impact, dealing magic damage. And enemies in the area are slowed. Look at that beautiful... I think I used my E there to stun him there. Which has allowed us to get a nice trade. And you see he's taking burn damage from the Leandries. And he should be dead. I think I tried to flash this and miss. Yeah, we suck. But that's okay, guys. We're still going to put some hard pressure on this Garen. We burn our flash, which is a little bit sad. But just a little bit of a heads up or a little bit of a spoiler. We get him back with that flash W. You'll see him later on in the video. So we are, again, putting a lot of pressure on this tower. Obviously, this is very dangerous because we don't see the enemy jungler. So just be aware. You want to be trying to ward up the enemy jungle if you're trying to do this heavy split push strategy, which works really, really well when you're strong. Especially like with Heimerdinger, like when we're super fed, the enemy jungler is going to be hesitant to come and gank us. So I threw my E there on that backline wave and used my W to clear the back wave. That's a nice little combo you can do to clear back waves to help you push very, very fast. And we are going to take the second tower of the game. So we are really stomping this Garen here. We're going to get ganked here by the Yone and everyone else. So as I said, if you get overextended, you're going to die and give away gold for no reason. So we're being a little bit too greedy there. But we do have one of the best items on Heimerdinger, which is the stopwatch or the Zhonyas. And you'll see why. Because you can Zhonyas in the middle of your towers and they will still continue to shoot. Chip away the enemy. That way you can come out of the Zhonyas and finish them up with stuns and Ws. Alright, so let's finish off explaining the grenade. So if the grenade hits the enemy, it slows them by 35% for 2 seconds. But if the grenade hits the center, the enemy is stunned. Okay, so if you hit the center of the grenade on the enemy, they're stunned. And this is basically what you want to try and do every time. It is obviously difficult to land, as it's like a skill shot that's like 3D kind of thing in all the space. So it's hard to hit, but if you do, it's very, very good because you can stun them and you'll trigger all your turrets to do that beam attack that I explained earlier. And you've seen it a few times. Kane going in there, he's going to get taken all the way in between 2 turrets, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get the kill. Again, taking tower shots for no reason. You see how much damage that tower shot did because the tower was stacked up against our Kane and our Galio maybe. So that one shot took us to nearly 2/3 health, which sucks. But we are pushing the mid lane because we have taken top. We're going to just help out our team and we're going to put some pressure on this rest of this game. Unfortunately, this game has a little bit of up and down and you'll see the end of the game, a little bit of unfortunate events. But it is a bit of a fun game. Alright, so the upgraded E, so the upgraded grenade. Basically, the upgraded grenade has a bigger blast radius, does more damage, and it bounces a few times. Each of those bounces can slow and also stun. So this thing absolutely demolishes team fights if it's used correctly. So if you're watching this video and you're wanting some expert gameplay, you're going to see me use it terribly. Some of my ultimates this game were pretty crap. So it's going to be fun to see them as we get engaged on by the Malphite. You can see that Zhonya's coming in clutch there because we could survive with more damage, get the Malphite down, allow my team to come in and clean up. The thing with Heimerdinger is you kind of need to be relatively close to place your turrets down and get in on the action, but and he is very squishy. So you can see there we are getting targeted pretty hard there. And we have already 3 deaths, which is not the best, but we are doing some really good things for our team, getting some pressure top and mid, obviously, and that's very, very good. All right, so that's all the abilities. Again, the ultimate, all it does is you use it before you use your other ability, and that'll upgrade that ability for that use. So if you want to use your tower, you alt, or you push R, then your Q, and it'll make the ultimate tower, or RW, shoot those waves of rockets, or the RE will shoot that mega grenade. If you push your R, and then you decide, oh, I don't want to use an upgraded ability, you can push R again, and it'll like refund your bit of your cooldown. So that's all the abilities with Heimerdinger. I would have shown little clips on the top corner of the screen of me using each of the abilities if you are confused, because in a gameplay sometimes I explain the ability and I don't get to show it nicely. So what are we doing here? We're trying to set up for Dragon. Ideally I want to get in there and start setting up my turrets, but I'm very weary about getting collapsed on by the Yone. The Leon has done a really good job of CCing that target, which makes my grenade very, very hard to miss. I tried my best, but I did land it, which allowed us to get the pick, which allows us to get the Dragon. So very good on the Leona there to get the CC down. The flash, we use our W. Again, we should use our E there first, and then use our W there. So you want to chain CC when you can. I just didn't expect him to get away that quickly. So that's it, guys. Once you have the Leondres and the Zhonyas, this is when Heimerdinger starts to feel very, very strong. The AP combined with the CDR that you get on these items, plus the active item on the Zhonyas, is very, very important for the way Heimerdinger likes to play. So some things you want to know about Heimerdinger. You want to try and protect your turrets from things like this, where see how the Ziggs can just chip it away. So in the lane where it's especially important, you want to keep an eye on where you're putting your turrets, because you want to make sure that you're getting value from them. So what we're doing here is we're just putting a bit of pressure on the bot lane because we've got the mid lane turret. A little bit tough against the Ziggs because he's got insane wave clear. So we're kind of wasting a little bit of time here. I could be top lane splitting, which is probably the best play. We did have our Kane here as well, so we're trying to make something happen, but that's okay. All right, so that's that. what was I explaining? Oh yeah, so there are certain champions that obviously counter Heimerdinger, and you want to be aware of them. Champions like Yasuo and Aurelia can use your turrets against you. So Yasuo can use your turrets to dash to, Aurelia can Q to your turrets. So just keep that in mind. Fortunately, we don't have either of those in this game today, so no good example of that. Again, we're just trying to put pressure on this bot lane. As the Kayn goes in, they have a lot of escape and wave clear, so it's very tough. I used my ultimate grenade. See, it didn't quite hit the center, so all it did was slow the Ziggs. It didn't quite get the stun. So if we got the stun, we might have been able to collapse and kill with the Leona following up and MF there to do damage, but we missed. So I need to get out of here and go back to top lane. The thing with Heimerdinger is you take Ignite for that lane pressure. So what happens is you don't have that TP, which is the champions I normally like to use or play are TP champions. There's a nice E from myself there, straight into the ground. Normally the champions I like to play are champions that take teleport, so right now I could just go back and teleport top to stop the Garen and kill him potentially, but we are committed, we are down here, we don't have teleport, so we have to try and make the most of it. And unfortunately doing this will let Garen get back into the game, so it's not the best idea to do this if you're not going to get anything out of it. Alright, so the next item we are building is Melanomicon, and we're going to get the Oblivion Orb component first for the armor pen, the magic pen. Again, very, very strong item. It'll make us shred champions that don't have any magic resist, which is very, very good. So we can do near true damage to those champions. And I like to take the blue trinket whenever I'm playing Heimerdinger so that I can, if I'm trying to split push or do what I can get vision in from a long distance, right? So normally when I play top laners, I like to take this. Depends. It just depends how I'm feeling in the game. So we're going to walk right up to the Garen. We're going to stun him, Q, everything. We're going to use our ultimate. He's walked straight into this, and he's going to get absolutely fried. So, wasn't the best display, and the Yone's coming in, and we Zonya's his ultimate, which is okay. But we did miss out on a lot of damage, but that's okay. I think I might have died if he got his ultimate off on us. So, again, Zonya is very, very important on Heimerdinger, because you see when we Zonya's, the turrets are still doing all that damage for us. Alright, so the Galio's chasing that Yone down. And yeah, what I mean, with Heimerdinger, the abilities that I've gone through, I'll go through them again so we can have a little bit of a recap. But at this point, we're going to try and concentrate a little bit more on the gameplay you're seeing and point out mistakes that I've made and so on, so you guys can learn from it. So you can see there, put the double turret down to help take the blue buff, so don't forget you can do that. Ziggs is going to absolutely blow up that team fight. Fortunately, we get out there. But yeah, we'll quickly go through the abilities again. Obviously, the Q is the turret, the W is those rockets, the E is the grenade, and the R is your upgrade button. So again, making sure we're pushing. I like to do the split push style. Split pushing for me is a very, very easy way to get pressure for your team. It's a very, very easy way for you to acquire a lot of gold, a lot of XP, and it's like just to stay very relevant in the game. If you group up too much, especially when there's no reason to, it can actually harm you a lot. And if the enemy team are grouping and you're not there, you can obviously take towers and that, but they're also getting more farm because you're not taking it effectively. You're getting top farm or bottom farm, and they're getting more XP. So if your team doesn't just turbo into the team fight and lose all die and you're just top by yourself, it's a very, very strong strategy. I've used it many, many times to win games, and I highly recommend that whenever you can hit the side lanes and grab farm whenever you can. Just be aware of objective timers. So we were a little bit late to this dragon because of we were too far pushed up, but the pressure we gain top means that the Garen can't really come because he's got to deal with his wave, otherwise he's going to lose a tower, which means we can get to the dragon fight before him and cause some damage and try and secure this dragon for our team. So we can see an absolutely superb ult W there. Should have waited for Leona to get the CC down like that there. So I could have waited and used my ultimate W there. We get a double kill. I don't know how we got the Malphite there. Maybe some ticking damage. But a double kill for us. And we're going to go help out our Leona here. We're going to put a turret down. Get the triple kill. Our turret is doing a lot of damage. We use our grenade there. I'm very, very surprised it didn't get the stun off there. And remember how I said we missed the flash W? We got a flash W. Oh my god, we missed. I think we get him there, don't we? With a W over the wall. Well, the tower gets him there, I guess. There it is. I remember flashing over this wall and thinking, man, I got some absolute balls to go over this tower blind. But it ended up working out. It was a non-official quadra. which is good for us. We don't need to be there with our team to get the dragon, so we let our turret tank the Gromp while we auto-attack it, and obviously the tower's doing damage. Take as many jungle creeps off the enemy jungle as you can whenever you're ahead. Well, yeah. Putting some pressure on this tower here. It's a little bit difficult again against the Ziggs because he has all that wave clear. So we just get as much tower damage or chip damage as we can, and we're going to try and run because we see the Malphite coming straight for us, and we know he's going to want to slap a fatty ult on top of us so we can get cleaned up. But we do escape, and we got 2,000 gold, so it's probably a good time to reset and look forward or look towards that Baron as a potential next objective for us to grab because we have everything else. Nope, I'm just going to steal some jungle farm off my jungle. I sure appreciates that. So again, the thing with Heimerdinger in the jungle, or like for taking jungle camps and creeps in all matters, is that it's very, very... Your turrets are like both a tank and a damage source. It's very, very strong. You can take camps and objectives and things like that without taking any damage, which is very, very good. Alright, so we are going to recall here. Looks like the enemy team's posturing to put some pressure on the mid lane. So we have to finish off our Morellonomicon, and then we're going to go towards our Void Staff just to make sure that if they are building any magic resist, we can blow them up. And then we'll probably finish strong with a a Death Cap. Alright, so far, this game, for me personally, has been very, very strong. I think we've done a very, very good job of rotating, getting a lot of objectives. But I know the outcome of this game, so I'm interested to see, while we're watching this back, what essentially goes wrong in this game. Nice Malphite ult onto our MF. That's an absolutely cracking ultimate for myself. Missing all of our W. So again, that's the ultimate of W. I wouldn't recommend using it all the time. A better thing would have been a ultimate E, or even a turret would have been better, because the E is easier to land if they're close to you like that, because the W, for me, my boomer hands, I don't know, I misclicked it. And the tower obviously will just do damage to whatever it's near, right? So that's obviously very easy to hit. That's an absolutely insane ultimate Ziggs ult combo. We used a nice Zhonya's there. If we had a flash, we could have got out. So the Zhonya's didn't really matter. Our tower, we didn't have turrets set up. So that's a little bit of a mistake from us. Wasn't paying attention to the minimap. Wasn't paying attention to the Yone. Fantastic ultimate from the Yone. Able to claw back a lot of the gold that his team was suffering. So very, very good play. If we were a little bit quicker, we could have Zhonya's the Yona ult. I'm not sure if we would have also Zhonya's the Ziggs ult damage as well. And if we had flash, we could have flashed immediately over the wall and would have helped out. We would have not died there, but that's unfortunate. So that flash over the wall to get the kill maybe wasn't worth it. Alright, so the enemy team are pushing in our top tower. Our mid tower there. It's only our first one, so that's not too bad. The Kane going in to see if he can pick the Ziggs. This Ziggs was actually very, very good if I remember correctly. Look at that beautiful satchel. To get him away from the Kane, and also put the Kane back and allowing the Garen to finish him off. So very, very good Ziggs play there. And we are right now looking at the minimap. There's not much to do. Top is very pushed out, so we could go split it there, but it's very hard to do that when we have no vision in the enemy jungle and we have no pressure mid, right? So what we're going to do instead is we're going to try and farm up the jungle and probably look to try and get that tower in the bot lane. If I remember correctly, or that's what I would do now. But the most common thing or mistake that I'll see here is just mindlessly grouping for no reason. If your team is like doing an engage like this, then obviously go group and see if you can provide some damage in that team fight. But you can see me looking at that tower thinking, oh, I want to be there and take that tower. But I'm sticking around my team. So do as I say, not as I do, essentially. Alright, so we're going to keep pushing mid. Because it's hard to get anything mid right now, because the Ziggs is just going to clear waves. Alright, because he's got great wave clear. So this is probably one of the first mistakes I'm noticing from the game. And take away from this... take away that from this gameplay as well. Another thing with Ziggs, what you need to understand, especially in this game, in the laning phase it's much simpler because it's a very static fighting area. Whereas in the mid and late game, such as now, the fights are moving constantly, so it's harder to get your turret set up. So you want to be constantly aware of where you think the fight might break out, and you want to be trying to put as many turrets down as you can. So let's see what the team's doing. So team's looking for an engage, Malphite's looking for a flank. We should just be bot lane now, just taking that tower. We could just draw pressure and absolutely demolish. So we get the tower down, we miss another E. we miss another W rather. We do finish him off. The Galio takes the kill, but that's fine. We use our ultimate rocket to get Wolf in that case. Wasn't the best use. Nice Leona ult. She's going in. I'm trying to get some damage in there, but I'm quite far away. Galio goes in to get secured, and we use a nice W. That absolutely slapped the Pike. So you can see when all those missiles hit, it's an extremely strong ability. A bit of a high risk, high reward ability. In that case, I could have just guaranteed a stun with the E. But that pick allows us to guarantee a nice drag. And again, get a pick, and then go to the objectives. What I could have been doing instead, and I know that worked out because we got a kill, but if I was in the bot lane taking a tower, I would have drawn someone to the tower to deal with it, and we might have been able to kill him that way. All right, so just another way to unlock the enemy's defense. Yeah, this Ziggs is doing a really good job of just being a pain in the ass and doing a lot of damage or chip damage or poke damage to our team, allowing us to feel insecure and allowing the Yone to go in and finish off the kills. We'll use a nice W there and our turret to do some damage. The Ziggs is okay, so right here I should be focusing the Ziggs down. I ult away and our Ignite finishes him off, so very, very good. But I'm in a bit of a pickle here. Sonya's the Pike ult, bit of a waste, to be honest, because I was dead either way. It's just reactions. You push it whenever you think you can survive some damage. Not too bad. We traded 3 for 2, so obviously not worth it for us. But you can just see what's happening in this game. We're getting distracted with team fights instead of just playing League of Legends, right? We're playing Street Fighter here. All right, so we are fed. So we should be winning this game, but just a little bit of poor macro and decision-making leads us to have this game to turn around for the enemy team. All right, so I've got a big wave pushing in top side, so I've pinged for my team to go clear that, and the MF's heading over. I want to talk about some other things you can do with Heimerdinger. So I've taken Ignite. Ignite is a very strong ability against certain top laners, and if you're playing mid laners, they have a lot of healing. So because obviously it applies a healing cut, and that's very, very strong. Excuse me, a bit of dinner coming up there. But if you would rather take Ghost, it's also a fine option, or Teleport. The reason why Ghost is cool is because if you're getting ganked in a 2v1 and you have turrets everywhere, you just activate your Ghost and run around like an absolute chicken, especially if they don't have very easy to hit CC, and your towers will just demolish the enemy team. The Kane got absolutely tapped there by the Malphite, full AP Malphite, absolutely demolishing our jungler there. Fortunately, we haven't been slapped by that yet, but I imagine that would suck. So we have to kind of try and defend here. We're trying to get our towers set up. A little bit of a poor tower positioning for the first one. As you can see, obviously the ring around the tower is the range of the tower. And we're just trying to wait and see what happens there. We get hit by a perfect combo and absolutely blown up. We didn't have our Zhonya's. The Yone and the Ziggs are doing very, very good work together. Very, very tough team we played up against here. I was obviously out of position there. Could have dodged the Yone ult. That's the second time we've been caught with a nasty Yone ult into a Ziggs ult. So our team is trying to get something back for this. That's a nice Leona ult, and it only got the slow, but it's enough to get the kill on the Garen, which brings it back a little bit for us. But yes, a little bit unfortunate there. So Leona's trying to pick up the Pike, and the team is trying to collapse. Nice little Galio engage. Again, a little bit of a Clown Fiesta. Nice from the Leona to guarantee the Ziggs. The Ziggs is the main threat with the Yone in this game, so we're going to try and burst them out, and that way they don't have much damage, and then we can win the team fights. All right, so we finished off our Void Staff, and now we're building towards our Death Cap. So some other items you could go for Heimerdinger. So you could obviously go for the Death Cap early, like maybe even third item, so like after your Zhonya's. If they don't have a lot of healing cut and they're not building much magic resist, then you can definitely go for the Death Cap third. You can also go for Magi's as well in the early game. The Magi's, if you can stack it up, which in this game would have been a pretty good purchase. I can't quite remember if I went back to base with spare gold. I could have got a nice Magi's. And that stacks up, and you can, or Dark Seal rather than stack it up into the Magi's. Taking the Scuttle for the vision. The gold is good, but the vision is more important for this Baron. Some other items, you can obviously go for Demonic Embrace, a little bit more of a tank setup to help you sustain more fights. And obviously you can go for the Rylai's Crystal Staff. In a game where you're not doing too well, I recommend getting the Crystal Staff, because the slow that you're constantly proccing on the enemy with your turrets will help your team more than just a shitload of damage would. Okay, if you're very, very fed, feel free to build pure damage for burst. Alright, so again, the Kane getting absolutely picked, clapped by that bloody Malphite ultimate, and Ziggs did a good job to zone me off the fight with a nice timed placed ult rather. So we're trying to get in here. We're trying to get in. We're trying to use our ultimate at W. I don't think I've hit a single ultimate at W. Terrible, terrible. Should have placed a couple turrets down instead. And the Pyke just comes around and slaps us. So I'm starting to panic a bit here because we're getting picked all over the shop. And we're starting to lose these fights. And we can start to see the game slipping from our hands. So we had a very, very strong start. And again, with these videos, we're not here to show the best and most stompy gameplay. We have a few of those games on our channel. Like the Heckram video, last one that we uploaded, was a bit of a stomp. I like these games because we can have a look and see what we did wrong. That way you guys can try and also have a look and think, maybe I should have a think about what he was doing wrong. Maybe I can learn from it. So because of that, we lose Dragon, and that was soul for us. So if we just backed off there, didn't get caught, we might have been able to get a soul and would have seen out the game probably. What was I saying? I've done a bad job with landing my W this game, my ultimate W, which is very unfortunate because it is an absolute insane amount of damage. So you want to make sure you practice that and get good at hitting it. And if it makes it easier for you, you can play with it on smart cast off, because it'll show you where those intersect lines are to make it a little bit easier to hit. But you know, I think I'm a champion, so I'm going to play with it off. So we just set up our turrets again, try and push this wave as quickly as we can. Miss the cannon, which is unfortunate, but all we're trying to do is just push this wave out so that we can cause pressure. And look what I'm doing here again. I shouldn't be really joining this fight. There's no reason to. There's no objective. Like, obviously Baron's up, but if I was creating pressure side in the top wave, in their head, they would be thinking, oh, what do we do? Heimerdinger's taking tower. We haven't really got... you know, what do we do? We have to hard engage, and then they might hard engage prematurely or incorrectly, and then makes it a good fight for our team. But me joining it means that they can just wait for a good ultimate from the Malphite, wait for a good engage, and just absolutely clap us. So unfortunately, the Kane goes in a little bit deep, and then again the Yone just collapsed us with another disgusting ult. Fortunately, we Zhonya's and we survived, but then we died of some I think a bit of Ziggs burst damage. So again, bad team fight for us. I'm just getting caught by the Yone too often there. I should obviously learn from the first mistake and try and dodge it. And we get aced. And unfortunately, guys, this perfect start to the game after some poor decision making and bad team fighting has led to an absolute collapse. So unfortunately, we can't win every single game. If we could win every single game, we'd be rank 1 in the world, but we aren't. But anyway, guys, I hope you can learn from the mistakes. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. We want to show you all the champions. And we have Alawi next, so very, very fun top laner. Our top laner is a bit more my speed. So I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed the guide. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, at the end of the day, it is nighttime. Take it easy.